Israel. Today is not only Israel. Today all over the world in the news you can hear about them, yeah? About what they call in Hebrew Sivlot, the bitul of it, but it is a Judaic reform, yeah. Whatever it is, unfortunately, it caused such rift and argument and terrible situation. Never was such a thing. Was before destruction, hatred and so on. It's so much to learn for it, even though it, in Israel Jews, but it's so much, unfortunately, taking place now. Demonstration and frightening situation. So what I got to show you here, Gematria, interesting Gematria, which has to do with the situation. The first thing is you already, I'm sure, familiar with his verdicts of the Supreme Court in Israel. Most of them, if there are measures of religious, Orthodox Jews, or again, they allow things against the Torah now. They allow the desecration of Shabbos, which is very severe. They allow other things to do with the matter of men and women. Whatever it is, most of their unfortunate verdicts and problems between Orthodox and secular, always the Orthodox are losing. Unfortunately, the situation before the coming of Messiah, which is called Erev Rav, the head of the Supreme Court for a while, for a long time really, Aaron Barak, said clearly, that's not Torah. I think he doesn't believe in God, also, but far away from really what a Jew is supposed to be, to believe in the Torah, to keep the Torah, and so on. But he says clearly that he's not, right? The first once good feeling was when a religious journalist asked him to put feeling on. Frightening. This is the situation. So the Bagatz, this is a Supreme Court in Hebrew, it is abbreviation of Beit Din Gavoa Tzedek, High Court of Justice. No? So it is amazing that the Gematria of it, 95, is the same Gematria like that Goebbels in Germany was a chief propagandist for the Nazis. You don't get a shock because Goebbels was against Jews, yeah. Not interesting, Christians, no Christian, if the grandmother was Jewish, or even a great Christian was sent into the furnace of fire. But basically, unfortunately, he was against Judaism, against Jews mainly. Bagatz against the Torah, yeah, that's against Judaism, right? No doubt, yeah. And unfortunately, the situation, what we can, it looks very, very like severe, what you compare the rebels, no, only our rabbis tell us that if somebody caused somebody to sin, to transgress Shabbos and so on, is worse than killing him, because by transgressing Shabbos, desecrating Shabbos, a man loses his world to come, spiritually. And physically, no, there is a world to come, So, amazing, just now we discussed about names, this is most important. Then Haman wanted also to destroy the Jews from Amalek, the same source, Goebbels and Haman Amalek. Also, the same idea, also got the situation that you will see. The same Gematria 95. No, in Israel you are allowed to such a thing to do. It is not against the law like you say the Supreme Court, Goebbels and Haman. No, it is called in Hebrew, chok chofesh habitui. One can use whatever suits him, even against other, like today. If you take all the names that they call Netanyahu, so this is definitely allowed. In Israel, they allow such thing. So, what are names? This is the most important. This is really what I want to tell you. So, our rabbis tell us about the verse. There is a verse in Psalm 46:9, which says, He has wrought desolation on the earth. So in Hebrew, desolation is shamot, like it's written here, shamot. But the same word, with the same letters, if you make different punctuation, vowels, then you have shemot, names. So names and desolation. So what is the connection? This was the rabbi said, the expression. What the rabbi says, don't read shamot, but shemot. Yeah, this is a brachot, tractate 7:4. Okay, now, so what is the idea? So our rabbi tell us, that names of persons, of countries, of nations, of everything has a meaning. Like Israel, as you can, Israel, is straight with God, ministers of God, praising God, Yeshkel, that teach the world there is God in the world. So this is really the essence of Israel. The essence of Israel is to teach the world about God, like to nations, and this is what they're supposed to do, to show the greatness of the Torah, like the Bible. It's an example you have to show. So this is the meaning of the word Israel. Sarekel, it's all the same letters, Sarekel, Shirkel, right? And this is what the Torah says about Israel. Mamlechet Kohanim Begoy Kadosh, you are kingdom of priests and all your nations. So this is really the name. So now if Israel, unfortunately, don't behave accordingly, not keeping the Torah, not realize there is a God and they are minister of God and supposed to be straight with God, to praise God, so destruction comes. This is why destruction really came, the two temples, because of hatred of this, because simple, not meaning that Israel, this is their purpose, and Israel is one unity, united. Unity is the essence of the Israel, to praise the word, to show to the world about God, and when they don't do it, destruction, so you don't give the land. Jews are expelled from the countries because of this. Okay, now what was in this time get expulsion or from Gush Katif and so on, who knows what will be more now. But this is the idea. So the essence of a man is in his name. This is why it's so important, to change name only unless there are reasons. I wrote a book about it, what's in a name. The book came in Hebrew and English and Russian. A lot of sources which are brought about the importance of name, the meaning of name. So this is really what the rabbis tell us here, about changing the shemot. If you change the names, there's desolation. Why? Because when names are not used properly, then these are desolation. Exactly what happened to Israel when they did not keep the Torah, hatred, and all these things came. So, desolation. The land was destroyed. Right? Amazing. So, this is important idea of names, and this is what it tells us, right? So, definitely everything positive and negative, Like 95, it is also different name, the idea of understanding and God, whatever it is, but the negative is telling us, unfortunately, that they are against the Torah, against Judaism, and in this line, unfortunately, there were Goebbels and Haman. So, let us see now, interesting table, about the Supreme Court. So what you have here, you have here, in black, the Supreme Court. This is Supreme Court, Bagas. And then you have opposite, once in the Torah, against the Torah. Amazing. No? The first thing you have is the leftists, because there are leftists. Yeah, as we mentioned, leftists are people who don't believe in the Torah and so on. Yeah, they come from Samael, right? And the parallel comes the leftist, the Bagas, the leftist one, neged Torah, against the Torah, only the Torah, and against Judaism. In blue is Judaism. Clearly the Torah tells you there's the Supreme Court against the Torah. No, you see, says that why the numerical value, the Gematria is like Goebbels and Haman, right? Haman had grandchildren who learned Torah in Bnei Brak, you know? Famous. It's written that one of the grandsons of Haman learned to die in Bnei Brak. Even the name of him is mentioned, Rab Shila. Interesting, no? So, we don't know what could be with grandchildren. So, here, clearly seeing the leftists of Bagas against the Torah. And who was the main one? Lapid, definitely. Lapid and Lieberman. Unbelievably, I was the skip of Erev Rav. If you follow my YouTubes and you know a little bit of Judaism, Erev Rav is the name of those leaders. It means the kind of leaders which are against the Torah, which is today we have Supreme Court and so on. So, this is Erev Rav. Yeah? Then you have here Meretz, is one of the party which is very much, and here you have the Supreme Court now, a lady, her name is Esther Chiyut, comes here Chiyut. She very, very much against Orthodox, against the Torah, against Netanyahu, definitely against Zavia. Leftist, she's very much a leftist, yeah, left in Israel. Amazingly. And you have Aleph Barak, this person, the head of the Supreme Court in Israel, is named Aaron Barak, comes Aaron Barak here. So clearly telling us the fact that Torah tells us that unfortunately we have Aleph Barak, we have Chiyut, this lady, and the Bagas, leftists, yeah, against Judaism, against the Torah, right? There's another one, Cheshin, also was very much against the Torah, a lawyer at one of the Supreme Court. So, this is unfortunately the Torah tells us, and this is what we see today, right? Again, Netanyahu, everything they are doing to throw away on Netanyahu, because Netanyahu is now together with the Orthodox, you know, and this is what they cannot stand, you know. So all what they are doing is to get rid of Netanyahu, frightening. Then you have another very interesting, significant table, unbelievable. Here you have the full name of Aaron Barak. Aaron Barak, yeah, you see in black. Aaron Barak. Asmolani, unbelievably, the leftist, yeah. You know, what can be the chances? Because you know what you see appears in one book, Exodus, and in one chapter, yeah, 12. Yeah, from the middle of 12 to one verse in 13. You know, what can be statistically. And not only this, you have the word Erev Rav, this kind of mixed multitude, you know, against the Torah. Minimal, right, comes here. And who is also Bagas? Yeah, Bagas, in purple, Bagas. And this is Samael. This is a heavenly minister of Amalek, of the leftists, which means, as we said in Hebrew, Samakel, because you want to blind God. You don't want God to interfere. You don't want democracy. No, only people decide, not human being. No, not God. No, not Torah. No. And amazingly comes here so to tell you, this Aaron Barak, the head of the Supreme Court, really, he was the main judge there, is leftist, and he belongs to the Erev Rav against Judaism, and to do with the influence of the Satan, yeah, which is trying to do everything to stop people from Shabbos, from Torah, from holiness, purity, and so on. Then we have another one, okay, always the same idea. Also the mixed multitude, Erev Rav, and here you have Bagas, Smali, Bagas, Supreme Court, leftists, and here comes the evil force of Lilith, which is in charge of lust, yeah. And this is lust. So Lilith is in charge of lust, and Samael in idolatry, and so on. This is what we have today, the parade Yeah, the parade of pride, or pride parade, how you call it, the paration, both of them. Parade, and this is the combination of the lilies. This is second minimum in the whole Torah. Yeah, unbelievable. Then you have here Riv Yadut, they are quarreling with Judaism, and they have Rav, and this is the name of another important Supreme Court. Her name is Mrs. Naor. Yeah, somehow the ladies are famous. So, Mrs. Naor, parallel. So, unbelievable table. Also the same line. Most of the tables that you are going to see is in the same line. You have here the same thing, Naor and Bagas Mali, and you have the same thing what we saw before, clearer way. And then you see, if you go here, you see more, like you saw here. Once in the Torah, the Bagas, the enemy to Israel, frightening. How can they be the enemies of Israel? But this is what is written there. Yeah, if you read it now properly, you see here. I show you clearly how you read it. It's a frightening, yeah. Bagas, Oyev, Bagas is enemy, here, Bagas, Oyev, to Israel, right? Because Israel means ministers of God, straight with God, praising God. So he's against this. He doesn't believe in the Torah, he doesn't keep the Torah. And so here you have once the Torah, the Bagas, the Supreme Court, enemy to Israel and to the Torah. You can see here, yeah, the word Torah. Right? Exactly what it is. An Amalekite, definitely. Jews can be also Amalekite. Amalekite are those who are against the Torah, against God. And here you have minimal appearance of lilies. This is the evil force of lust, which normally the Supreme Court allows. It allows homosexuality, allows abortion, you know. And parallel, you have here, the left, yeah, right, right, and here you have Arabs, definitely. And no, he likes, he loves the Arabs, definitely. When there are matter of Palestinians, Arabs, then the Supreme Court is very positive to them, yeah, likes them. So this is what comes here also, yeah, yeah. So, very interesting. Then another table, all the tables on the same line, really. Darling show connection with the Supreme Court to Erev, to the leftists. And what we should do Shuvah. But this is a situation, and it is unbelievable that the idea of names, you know, our rabbis bring a lot of names. The rabbis, he was a rabbi, his name Rav Meir, yeah, and he was very, very particular about names. It's an interesting story that once the rabbi with his friend went somewhere, and it was on the way just before Shabbos. They did not manage to get into the place, so it was just before Shabbos. They had to take a hotel, and it was somebody there. So they definitely before Shabbos, you know, they could not keep the money, so they asked him to keep for them the money. Rav Meir said, "Well, mister, what is your name?" He said, Kidor. So he said, no. He said to himself, I don't give my money to this person. So when the rabbis came out, he said, why did you not give? He said, the name Kidor reminds me very, very negative verse in the Torah, Deuteronomy, Kidor tapuchot ema. They are crooked, they are not straight people. And the Vilna Gaon says that the Gematria of Kidor is 240 like Amalek. Amalek means crooked. Yeah? And the story is that when Saturday night, when they came to the hotel, man and asked him for the money. He said, money? Which money? No money. So Rav Meir, he was clever, he put his money somewhere there, far, he buried it. And then he said, no, what? I told you, this is the kind of person, so this is the name of a person. It is interesting that our rabbi analyzed even the name of Nebuchadnezzar. You know, Nebuchadnezzar would destroy the temple. So the rabbi said, you see, even names are not Jewish, doesn't matter. Once they have some connection to Hebrew. If you read my book, what's in a name, in English, you will see more ideas behind this. In Russian, if not people Russian, you can get in Russian my book. In Hebrew, definitely also, Shimon Shama. But it's amazing, what the rabbi said about Nebuchadnezzar. So he said in Aramaic, Nebuchadnezzar, it means Nebu is to complain to Kadnasa, because a small branch, it means they said he was very much all the time like complaining, not himself, to himself very likely, but he had an inferiority complex, because he was very small, Napoleon also means almost in Hebrew that he was like falling, very small. And he had inferiority complex, so this is what our Bible tells us, why he wanted to conquer the whole world. Yes, amazing, and this how rabbis understood, analyzing his name. The test tractate in Jerusalem Talmud. But amazing, names are very, very significant. And you can read about it, as I said in my book, what's in the name. You can get it in my site, GlazersonBooks.com. And I open in books, in shops, Judaic shops, so very important, significant table.